Okay, friends, so we're gonna do a very quick, easy one-pan salmon dish. It's baked. It's going to be baked, and it's going to involve um, a nice orzo background. I need to show you, though, I want to make two fillets out of this one thick, chunky one, but I need to uh, take the skin off. So I'm using the best knife for that. And you basically, let's see if I can do it. Basically, you start on one end, if you can get a grip on it, and you have to kind of get the knife in here and peel it off. But having a sharp knife like this helps. And we're going to keep going. Well, perhaps this isn't the best. Well, it's pretty sharp, but it's not the sharpest. So the nice thing about it has a pointy tip, and you can get the skin off this way. And if it doesn't come in one piece, so be it. I'm just going to keep going like that. Yeah, it's coming. And use the point a bit and use your own pressure of your hand. Of course, it's a little slimy. Maybe I should pat it dry some more. Hold on. So I'm going to pat it dry so I can hold on to it, onto the skin. Yeah, so that's going to help. So, I don't know if you need to see all this. I'm just showing you how, because, it's probably the most difficult part of this. And obviously you don't have to do this. Is that obvious? Not entirely obvious. So, we're going to get it's just because it's going to be soaking in liquid. And you won't have crispy skin, so you'll be taking it off when you eat it, which is a little less pleasant, but also doable. So we're going to use the pointy end, keep pulling. I'm just going to use both hands, and you can see the fatty part. Oh yeah, comes right off. Some of that fatty part will come with it. Doesn't bother me, but I prefer to have the nice orange skin flesh all intact. So there we go. We got it. Done. Skin removed. Where's my garbage? Okay. Now we're going to turn it and make two fillets that are nice and chunky, because these are going to be banked at very high temperature for a very short time. Alright. So we can put those aside. We'll probably salt and pepper them. So we have that, but we're going to start with cooking up a semi-sofrito cooked in bacon fat. This is just less than 2 celery stalks cut very finely. I could have used the food processor for that, but I didn't want to clean more things. These are 2 rashers of bacon cut into quarter-inch pieces, and this is a small onion. So these are kind of equal, around a cup, and maybe 3/4 of a cup. I will come right back once I've washed my hands and begun sauteing. We're going to add orzo and chicken stock to the saute, and we're going to put our oven at 450, and that is going to take a while to reach it, so I don't want you to have to wait, so I'll do it now. Alright, that's it for now. Okay friends, so I have the stovetop on. I'm going to add the bacon to see when it starts to sizzle, and then I'm going to add, you know what, it doesn't matter, I'm adding everything. Celery, onions, and bacon. And we're going to not add oil because this is cooking in bacon fat. So we can put that aside. Meanwhile, we're going to make a rub. I don't know, it might be possible that I've made too much. I've too much for a small pan. But I want to make a rub with for the salmon, which is going to be zest of a lemon plus some ground coriander. Let's say a half a teaspoon. Let's see. That's probably a half a teaspoon ground coriander and some salt. Not very much. Some pepper, like a quarter teaspoon, which is a healthy pinch. And where's my salt? There's not enough room there, so I don't have everything stacked. But we want to cook up that. There's the salt. I'm going to mix that around. I think I'm going to add a little oil. Well, let's just, I don't know. I think this is a full ounce of lemon juice, which goes into this when I start adding my chicken stock, which is 3 cups. I'm going to measure it out now. This is a 2-cup measure. Just a second. I have another one. That's what the orzo is going to cook in. So here. Now go up to 2 cups, but remember the total is 3, and I want 1 cup of orzo. I'm not reducing the amount because I think I just like orzo. I don't know. It's a small pan. Perhaps this may not work with that much. So you know what? I'm changing my mind. I'm going to add 3/4 a cup of orzo. Okay, 3/4 a cup of orzo. And, you know, thinking on my feet, looking at this pan, thinking about how I don't want to drown the salmon in liquid. And so I'll just use stock instead of 3. I'll use what? So 1 cup to 3 is 1 to 3. 3/4 to 3 is what's 75% of 3? 1.25, 2.25, I think. So I'll just check that before I add the rest of the stock. Want to get this going. So basically we'll know it's ready for the stock and the orzo when the bacon is browned. That could be 5 minutes. In the meantime, I think I'm going to prepare my rub with some oil here. And let's just use our fingers and spread it on like that. Both sides. But just make sure you get it on the nice side first. And we can always because I think the bottom side will likely uh, melt off in the liquid. So more with the coriander and the salt. Coriander, salt, and pepper. So slightly spiced, seasoned salmon pieces. Those can just sit there while we wait. And just a moment here. Get this. You know, you can always tell when there's celery. It is an aromatic. It changes. It's not just an onion smell we have, aroma we have. I might put a little salt in that just to sweat the onions. And I'll get back to you. Got to turn the fan on. I'll get back to you when it's time to do the rest, which will be in about 4 minutes. Okay, folks, it's been 4 minutes. I've got some browning. I added a little oil to keep it from getting too crazy. We're going to add our 3/4 cups because I'm only using 2 here. Salmons, I'm using 3/4 of cups of Orzo. And I just want to coat that in oil a bit so it doesn't burn. Want to get that cooked off a little bit. And I'm going to add the 2 cups of stock. But like I said, what's 75% of free? 1.5. I'm gonna add a half a cup more. 2.5. Okay. Because we want to get that plump. And it's going to come to a boil. And we're going to add the lemon juice here. Juice of half a large lemon. There's a little salt in there already. We don't need to season it yet. And we have already seasoned our meat, our salmon. So this needs a little bit of attention. Well, it doesn't really need that much attention. It's going to be, you're basically cooking the orzo and it takes exactly 8 minutes. I'm going to check it at 7 because I don't want it to be mushy. Okay, folks. Hope I'm recording. It's been 8 minutes. The orzo is done. I tested it. And you can see there's not very much liquid. So I got the ratio right. But the ratio I was correct the first time. If I used 3/4 cup of orzo, I needed 2.1 cup of stock. So we're just going to nestle our salmon in there beautifully. And we're going to put it in the oven at 450 to bake. And I should be setting the timer for 5 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to chop up. I'm just going to core some radicchio. And we're going to just, I think, use 1/4 of this sliced for the finale. Slice thinly. Watch your fingers. I think that'll be enough for that small pot. And I'd like to finely chop very finely chop some small pieces of celery for crunch. Alright. Keep going. Chop, 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 chop. The big piece at the end I don't need. And yeah, I gotta turn the video off now so that I can time that quite precisely for 5 minutes. Okay, folks, it's been 5 minutes baking the salmon. You don't want to overdo it. Looks good. Yeah, that looks really good. In the Orzo, remember this is very hot, so I'm putting my glove on the end. And what we need to do now is get the fish out, because we want to wilt some of this Radicchio in there for color. We could have left this in to get a little more of a crispness on top, but it's going to continue to cook, and I don't like dry fish. This looks perfect. So fish the fish, put it in the plate. Let this stir this up a bit. Then we're going to add some more little small pieces of tiny pieces of celery for crunch. And we're going to add a few thin, this is a quarter of a medium head of radicchio. Don't use big chunks like that. Try to get the core out of it. Just rip any pieces that have a core on them. Just take them out. Alright? And then, yeah. Then we just want to wilt that together. Alright? And my oven's still on here. I mean, this is still hot. So we kind of don't want to leave it on here for long. But we want to wilt the radicchio. And then we're going to plate it when you think it's wilted enough. That should only take a few minutes. I guess I don't mind it being on the heat a little. I might have to add, I don't want it to stick to the bottom. So let's add a little stock, I guess, just to help it along. That was a dash. No, you don't want it to ruin the temperature, bring the temperature down too much. Just want it, oh, remember that was hot. I took that glove off for no particular reason. Now I probably have a little burn. Anyway, so it's looking wilted. Some of it's less wilted looking than the rest. I think it'll continue to wilt. That's going to provide a little bit of bitterness to go with the creaminess. I'm putting the really thin pieces in. And then I'm going to remove all of this whole section here, and begin to plate. So that really took, I don't know, what did that take? Half an hour? 35 minutes? I feel like that's too much. It's not too much heat. Looking really good. Color's great. Now I want to get my serving dish and a good slotted spoon. In this case, doesn't have to be slotted because there's no extra juice. So we're just going to plate it up with the orzo, which is nice and creamy and chickeny on the bottom like that. This is for two, so save some for the second piece. Maybe put some radicchio around the top. Take that, make sure it's off the heat. This is still hot. And this is still hot. Put the glove back on. And then we get our beautiful salmon piece right on top. Voila. I'm adding a little more of this around. It's pretty beautiful. Very appetizing. Yum. One pan dish. Salmon.